Well, I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praise shall continually be in my mouth. My name is Rabbi Humphrey. This is PCG TV. In thy light, surely there is light. And today we're going to have a wonderful, very exclusive interview. I always say that it is a privilege more than a duty to come your way on your screens every day, to be a blessing to you in all these interviews that we do. But today, I'm entering into another sector of the interview. It's a different field altogether, and I believe that you're going to enjoy it, and we are going to also help educate you in something that would help you yourself. May 2019, the Parliament of Ghana passed an act and was assented to by the President of the nation, His Excellency, the President of Ghana. And this act was to foster transparency and to help us to get easy access to information so that you and I, our work will be easier. This is the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989. And this is what we are going to talk about today. And on set with me today, I have Mr. Raphael Osei-Bonsu, who happens to be the Senior Officer, Enforcement, Investigation and Compliance Directorate at the Right to Information Commission, and also Mr. Samuel Ewua, who happens to be the Manager, Enforcement, Investigation and Compliance Directorate, the Right to Information Commission. So don't go anywhere. Stay glued to your set. I'll be right back after this break. Then straight into the issue of information and your right and my right to get that information. Stay tuned. Well, viewers, you're welcome back. This is PCG TV. In thy light, surely there is light. My name is Rabbi Humphrey, and before we went on the break, I made you know that I have wonderful gentlemen here that we're going to get into discussion about the Right to Information Act. And as I said, I have Mr. Ralph Osei-Bonsu here and Mr. Samuel Ewua here to help me to discuss this particular topic. So, sirs, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you're fine.
By God's grace.
Once you are coming from the commission, I know that there are a lot of things backing you to come in here. All right, so our viewers are actually varied. We have people that understand a bit of the law, a bit of the things that commissions do, people who understand a bit of what parliaments do, people who are also quite naive about all this law thing. This thing that we're talking about, Right to Information Act, what is it all about? I think I'll start with Manager.
Well, thank you very much, Humphrey. Let me correct this. I'm Assistant Manager.
Oh, Assistant Manager.
Not manager. Thank you very much.
All right. Sir.
Well, let me proceed with the question you asked. Now, as you rightly said, the law was passed by Parliament in March 2019, and the President assented it in May. I think 21st May or so, to be precise. Well, and this is a law that has come to set the modalities for a citizen of Ghana or outside Ghana, a person, to use those modalities and procedures to access any information that is held by any public institution or relevant private body. Yes. So basically, the law spells out how, when, and the nature of the information that you can access.
Okay.
That is being held by a public institution.
So that means that we're setting the record straight right from the beginning. It's not every information that you can access.
That is so.
Okay. So, Mr. Ralph, how does the commission ensure that this act is actually enforced?
Okay. So when you read the act under section 45, it spells out the mandate of the commission, that is to promote, protect, monitor, and enforce the right to information that is granted to a person under the 1992 Constitution and the modalities of the Right to Information Act 2019. So the commission does monitoring exercise, conducts monitoring exercise annually for public institutions. We are checking to see if the systems that are supposed to be in place to facilitate access to information are actually in place. So one of the things we are checking are the presence of an information officer and the information unit. Is the information unit resourced to do its work? We are looking at the submission of an annual report. Have you submitted your annual report concerning right to information activities to the commission? We are checking some of these things to make sure there are systems in place to facilitate access to information so that nobody is unduly denied access to information.
Okay, so public entities actually submit reports to the commission.
That is
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Aside submitting report, we also promote the law. And by promotion, just as we are here today, this media engagement is to help educate those our listeners and viewers to understand and appreciate what this law is all about. Apart from promotion, we also, he mentioned protection, which is very key, protection, because the likelihood that the institution may bully or refuse to grant request, that probability is always high, that the tendency of institution refusing is high. So the commission is always awaiting that if you go and you have those challenges, do not sit back or tell yourself this is Ghana, it will not get anywhere. Just walk to the commission confidently, showing copies of the request you sent and you were not attended to, and we are there to protect that right that the Constitution has.
But don't you think it's quite intimidating? You have your organization, you're a CEO or a manager somewhere, and somebody just come in, please, I want this information. Don't you think it is very intimidating for the managers or the authorities within an institution?
Well, we have had several challenges where some CEOs are like, how dare you come to my house to request for information? But unfortunately or fortunately, that is the law for us, or says that make a request to the public institution who holds the information you are looking for. And once you make the request, they are obliged under the law to give you that information. So, I mean, nobody is exempt from the law, just that some pieces of information is what we cannot have access to. But every public institution is subject to the Right to Information Act.
Before we get into the process of getting the application done, how to get even the information, you've been in existence for like 5 years now. 4 years now.
Yes.
And have you had people come to your commission talking about the fact that they need information somewhere they are not getting?
Oh yes, we have a number. In fact, this year I've not gotten a copy of the report yet. But I think 2 years ago, we recorded almost about 200 cases. We do get, yes, they come a lot. Because the law is saying that if you apply and they refuse you, the information officer refuses, escalate it to the head of the institution. If he also refuses you, then you come to the commission. So, in fact, that we are getting cases. They come. They come and then bring their complaints. And we also, the law allows us to use less technicalities in addressing the complaints that come. Ours is more or less a quasi-judicial body. In other words, it's almost like the court, but we don't use too much technicalities. We try to make it very simple to understand and to follow. So we use mediation among the ADR processes, methods, mediation, conciliation, negotiation, and arbitration. So these 4 methods, any of them are available to us. Depending on the circumstances and scenarios, we choose one of these methods and then we address your issue.
So I'm a Ghanaian. I want information maybe from any of the institutions, any of the public institutions. What should I do? What is the process, sir?
Okay. So the beautiful thing about this law is that there are some laws that are only for Ghanaians.
Okay.
But this law says a person. So regardless of your race, gender, age, origin, wherever you are coming from, so even foreigners are allowed to enjoy this right to information.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So a Nigerian can just enter Ghana and get into an institution and follow the processes and get information.
And request for information.
Okay.
Yes. So any person who wants any piece of information, first of all, you need to identify the institution that holds the information you are looking for. So say you are looking for information on roads, you can't go to Ghana Water Company to give you information on roads.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so you identify the institution that holds the information, and then you draft your application. Says the application shall be written. So you write your application, you submit it, you attach a copy of your ID card for identification purposes. You submit it to the information officer. And the information officer is somebody who is at the premises of the public institution who shall receive your request and then process or deal with that application. So he submits that request to the information officer, and if the information sits with the organization, then he has 14 days to give you a decision. But if the information you are looking for does not reside with the organization, then he has 2 days to transfer your application to whichever institution has that information. That's why I said that you have to identify the institution that holds the information. So sometimes you can look for information on roads and then you think that Ghana Highways should be able to give you that information. You go to Ghana Highways and they say that no, this information is more related to the functions of feeder roads. So go to feeder roads for that information. So in that instance, the information officer has 2 days to transfer the application. But if it is domiciled with the institution, then he has 14 days to deal with the application, to tell you whether they are going to give you access or they are not going to give you access. And if he is telling you that he's not going to give you access, he has to state the reason. And the good thing is that the law says that when you are requesting for the information, don't state a reason for your request. Don't state the reason. I just want A, B, C, and D from your organization. That's it. Don't state the reason. But when the information officer does not want to give you the information, he has to then state a reason for denial and then state the sections of the act where the denial is based. So after 14 days, you should hear some communication from the information officer. And if after 14 days you have not heard anything, then the law says that deem that silence as a refusal to give you access. Then you go ahead to trigger an internal review. The internal review is simply write another letter now to the head of the institution, attach a copy of the previous application you made, that I made a request for these pieces of information as attached, but I have not been able to receive it as at this time. So I want you to take a second look and then see what you can also tell me. And then if you submit that letter and after 15 days you have not heard anything from the information officer or the head of the public institution, then the law says that you should deem that silence also as an affirmation of the original decision of the information officer. So once that is done and you have still not heard anything, then you can come straight to the commission for redress.
Wow. Okay. I think there's a very beautiful procedure. Let me take a quick commercial break and I'll be right back, because we're learning a lot and I believe that this one, it will help you. It will help me too. But the 14 days is where I'll come back to ask why 14 days? When somebody wants something now, you get into a hotel and want to request this room number. So somebody there and the person says 14 days. 14 days, they say, oh, I don't know. So we'll come back to ask all the other questions. This is PCG TV. Stay tuned. Well, viewers, you're welcome back. This PCG TV. This is an exclusive interview with Right to Information Commission, and I have Mr. Raphael Osaibunsu here and Mr. Samuel Ewa here helping us with the discussion. And trust me, it's been quite great. But before we left off, Ralph, you were talking about the 14 days and the 15 days, and so that means that if I get to a place and somebody owes me, and I want to know whether the person is in the room or not, right to information. Can't I get information that the person is in the room? 14 days.
Well, so you want to say that
Yes.
if your situation is urgent,
Good.
should I wait for the 14 days because the law says so? No, the law says that if you give reasons why you need that information as quickly as possible, then it means it's an urgent request.
Okay.
And but because you've given us reasons why it should be treated quickly for you.
Okay.
And so once you give that reason, it is up to the information officer to examine the reasons you've given, whether they indeed constitute urgency.
Okay.
You get it? Because if he thinks, oh, yes, you've explained, I've read your application, but I think from my position, the reasons you are giving as urgent reasons are not urgent from my position. So I'm sorry, I may not be able to treat it within that 48 hours as the law provides. So in that case, then he will treat it the 14 days.
Oh, okay.
If you think you are aggrieved, well, he will go ahead and treat it the 14 days. You get it?
Yeah.
Once he treats it within the 14 days and he grants it, then he has finished his work as far as the law is concerned.
Okay.
Because that is what the law has placed on him. The decision lies with the information officer. The reasons you are giving does not necessarily mean because it's coming from you, he should accept it as urgent reasons. You get it? So that is, he will treat it 14 because he feels your reasons are not urgent enough.
Okay, so you keep on mentioning information officer. What if the institution doesn't have an information officer? Who do we address to?
So the law says that every public institution should or must have an information officer.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So in the absence of an information officer does not guarantee that because we don't have an information officer, we can't have or we can't grant access to information. Once you submit the request to somebody at the institution, that is enough. Yes. But for the purposes of dealing with or facilitating access to information, there should be that person called the information officer to deal with the application. But in the absence of that person does not mean you are exempt from this law.
Oh, okay.
And I want to add something to the urgent request.
Yes.
The only urgency the law recognizes is when the issue is something that borders on somebody's life or liberty or safety.
Okay.
So you have reason to believe that somebody's life is under attack.
Yeah.
Then you are requesting for information and we have to give it to you within 48 hours. Then the law recognizes that reason.
Okay.
But if you need that thing for your own something and does not constitute an urgency,
Okay.
then the law will not recognize that as any urgent information.
Oh, okay.
So that is the premise for urgency.
For urgency.
Urgency.
Okay.
But
No, Adam.
you remember I made a key point that examining the reason for urgency lies with the information officer.
Okay.
Now you claim you need it to go and save life, or it will protect public interest, or it's in the public interest.
But to him,
As far as then onus is on him to carefully examine what you are saying. What evidence have you attached to your application that
Sure is
you
urgent.
exactly? So your mere stating that
urgent.
it is urgent that will not does not guarantee that it should be granted
okay, that's
within that
very
48
fine.
hours.
What are some of the challenges that you have as a commission?
Well, to begin with, the implementation
Okay.
is a bit slow because of the fact that the law itself is relatively new. It was passed in 2019 and then the commission was inaugurated in 2020.
Oh, okay.
So the implementation is a bit slow. The appreciation of the law on the part of some public institutions or some heads of public institutions is a bit slow.
Okay.
So you go to them requesting for information and they don't understand why I should give you that information. Why do you need that information?
Exactly.
So that is one aspect of the challenges of the commission.
Yeah. Let me also add that financial, because our budget, we are now opening regional offices.
Oh, okay.
So any state institution will always demand and ask for more from the government. And I believe that it is not out of place that Right to Information Commission to be also considered, because we are now expanding our tentacles to cover the 16 regions. But so far, I think 5 regions, we are our presence are in 5 regions now, and we are hoping to expand. So more of sensitization, and when we do training for information officers too.
Okay.
All these activities requires funds.
Yeah.
And so we believe that Presby will also hear to our cry and then do its best to also come in.
You have no problem. By 2028 will be 200 years.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Great achievement.
Wow. It's 200 years as an institution.
Oh, okay. Oh, fine.
The oldest and continually existing church.
That's right.
So we have a lot of information.
Okay. Okay.
So if somebody wants an information from a congregation, you need to apply. The Chronicles to go to maybe 1832.
That's right.
Then we'll go and bring some information and give to them. All right. So in September there were some activities that the commission actually had.
Yes.
Can you talk about it?
Well, that is the International Day for Universal Access to Information. We call it IDUA for short, or IDUA.
Okay.
The UNESCO started this particular day, I think in 2015, during their 74th General Assembly. They decided that they will set up a day.
Okay.
And the day they set up is the 28th of every September.
Oh, okay.
And the idea behind it is to recognizing the importance of the Access to Information Law.
Okay.
Ghana, we call ours Right to Information Act. So they meet, normally it's more of a forum where you get international personalities, those who have experiences of right to information, access to information, will come and share their own experiences and other best practices, so that we can help improve the implementation of the act. My brother would.
We also went through some series of engagements with churches.
Okay.
We visited some churches to do what we are doing right now, talk to them about the right to information, enlighten them about the right. Because if you don't know about it, how do you even enjoy it? Yeah, so we spoke to them about the right to information. We also visited some mosques as well to speak to them about the right to information, how to go about accessing information and all that. So that is some of the activities we are also doing, in September.
Great. Viewers, it's becoming quite interesting, and I know that we are learning a lot. I've learned a lot too. I've learned a lot. So I just want to take a quick break. When I come back, we are just going to climax it, but we'll delve deeper into some issues, some of the cases, examples of cases that has happened, so that we'll learn from it, so that it can help us. So when we want to get access to information, we can also get it rightly. My name is Rabbi Humphrey. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back. Well, viewers, you're welcome back. This is PCG TV, and we are getting into details with the Right to Information Commission. We have 2 wonderful gentlemen here. They are really doing a lot of exposure for us, and it's helping us. Mr. Raphael Osei-Bonsu and Mr. Samuel Ewua are helping us with all these right to informations that we need to know. Sirs, just in case somebody comes to you and brings an issue, how do you resolve it as a commission?
Well, normally when we receive an appeal, in other words, an external review application from an applicant, we write a request for response to the institution. They refused him. That's the information holder. Once I mention the institution, I mean the one who holds the information. So the institution has 14 days to respond to our request for response. If the 14 days expires and we've not heard from them, then we will proceed to make a decision, because we will look at whether the information, the pieces of information the person requested are exempt or not, so that we can make a firm decision on that. When we make a decision, we call our decisions determination or decisions. The court will call it judgment. But when they finally respond to our request for response letter to them, and they explain their part of the whole why they refuse him. They'll give us instances in this.
Okay.
So normally, if they tell us that the pieces of information the applicant requested are exempt, for which reason they refused him, then we will request them to produce us or provide us or furnish us with those pieces of information. Okay. When it comes, then our legal department, led by the head of legal, will examine it carefully and see whether they are truly exempt or not. If they are not exempt, then we'll write back to them, ordering them, because they are not exempt. That's the only reason you gave. So we will order you to release those pieces of information to them. There are some institutions that will still refuse, even when we have asked them to order them to release them. When you do, that is where we will impose a fine, because when we normally at times we order you release A, B, C, and D within a specified period, normally 14 days and at times depending on the circumstances. And then also go further and tell no, you ought not to have refused the person. What you did is wrong as far as the law is concerned. So we are imposing an administrative penalty on you for your actions. You get, when we do that, then we write to them and then we expect them that based on the instructions or orders in the decision, they will follow. I can tell you for sure some institution will receive the letter and they will still refuse to act. When that happens, then it is our duty onus to seek the court's power to enforce the decision we made. Exactly. So we will either put you before the court, asking the court to compel you to follow it. And that one you are helpless because the court is enforcing our decision. Good.
So but you're talking about the fact that some informations are exempted. Can you give examples of some of the information that maybe I come and I want to get this information, but the law doesn't give me that honors to get that information?
Good.
Okay. So the law mentions a host about 12 of them. Yes, but for the sake of time, let us look at information affecting the security of the state. So we have some buildings of national importance that we cannot necessarily go asking for the blueprint of such a building. When you go, obviously you will not get access to that information. We have tax information, any piece of information gathered for the purposes of determining anybody's tax liability, or any information gathered from a tax return cannot be given out because they are personal information to people and you cannot have access to that information. There are some pieces of medical records, privileged information, doctor-patient relationship, any information coming from a doctor and patient relationship, client-attorney privileges, what disclosures you made to your lawyer during case management. These are pieces of information that cannot be accessed by the right to information. We also have information meant for the president. We have prepared some pieces of information for the president, or we have even submitted to the president. The president is yet to take a decision on that information, and then you want a copy of that information, you will not have access to it. Parliamentary privilege, fair trial and contempt of court. These are all pieces of information affecting law enforcement agencies. You will not have access to it.
Like the military
and all that, the police and all that. Somebody has, an informant, if you like, has given the police some confidential information. And then you want the identity
of the
person. These pieces of information will not be given to you. So those are the classes of exempt information.
So as we climax this interview, what support would you want from your stakeholders? What would you want us to do? As a matter of fact, not everybody even knows that there is a commission. We've heard of the right to the information, but today you are really exposing and clarifying things. What support would you want from your stakeholders?
Well, I will start with first funds, financial support. Yes, so that if you look at our work plan, we are still expanding. And we are hoping to expand to cover at least more than half of the entire country nationwide. We have 16 regions now. And so if we are able to at least cover 8, 9, I guess we are gradually getting there. And then logistics, office equipment, office supplies, at least, so that we will not always be knocking at the door of the government.
Sure.
We are also entreating public institutions and heads of institutions to take time to appreciate the law and then to make the implementation very smooth. Because if you go to a public institution to request for information and you are given, then we are all partnering in the fostering of some culture of transparency and accountability in our public discourse. So we are all joining hands together to foster that culture we so much desire. Yes.
We need to end. My producer signaling, but we're in an election year.
That is so.
What should we expect from the commission? Because this year, coalition centers, and I need information, right information. That. What should we expect from the commission?
In fact, through our ES, Yao Sapon Boatin Esquire, he is a lawyer, and the management team have put in place plans to ensure that we are ready for we are expecting more applications. That is external reviews to come, appeals to come to us because of the electioneering year. When we are approaching the election time, and of course we are almost in the last quarter, so we prepared ourselves, hoping that we'll be able to deal with applications as quickly as possible.
I don't know if you want to say final words. Final words.
Yes. So finally, we are entreating us all. Today, you have heard about right to information. Just the law. Let's see how best. I mean, people or public institutions are going to respond to you. Draft an application. You just send it. Don't state a reason. Just give it out there, and then let's see if they respond. If not, come to the commission, and then we all help to plant a culture of, they say that the corruption or the transparency is in the information.
That is true. That is so.
All right. So, viewers, thank you very much for keeping tuned to PCG TV. We always tell you we bring you the best and nothing but the best. And today, Right to Information Commission, we had two wonderful gentlemen here, Raphael Osebunsu and Samuel Awua. They helped us to. I've learned a lot, and I know you've also learned a lot. So don't go anywhere. Just stick around with us. We'll bring you everything best to help you to learn, to empower you, and to equip you. My name is Rabbi Humphrey. I sign out. Leitraut is bye for now.